I heard this voice calling me every name under the sun, like, Guy, you effing dog, and Guy, you effing this and effing that. And when I looked to the right of me, I saw Wally Lewis, and he was right under me. He's looking up at me going, you pointing me in the chest, and I looked down at him and said, you should get back to your nursing home, and which was a shit thing to say.
So the other thing that you are, and I loved what you said, that you were seen as this bash and crash merchant, but you were a really skillful player, and that's what I got from watching various highlights, like that flick pass around the back in the grand final. But tell me, the state of origin in the pouring rain, like people have come on this show and talked about state of origin, but to me it was those old school jumpers, and you're up in Queensland, it was pouring down, and then you and Wally Lewis with little Benny Elias and the ref trying to pull you apart. Just tell me, MG, what were you and Wally saying to each other? It's captivating vision, and all I was thinking, I can't wait to see him tomorrow and ask him what he was actually saying to the king.
Well, it's the same thing. It's 33 years ago, and
how often do people bring it up?
Oh, at least once a week. But around Origin, it's you see it everywhere. It's
that 4 or 5 iconic clip moments from Origin, because it's raining and your hair's splashed down. There's Wally and you're towering over him like Benny Elias is about 2 foot tall. And he's like, it's almost like go to your neutral corners, boys.
Well, I made my debut in '89 as a
smacking her.
As a 20-year-old, and we got 36-6. There was a dead rubber. This thing about Origin was true. It's so fast and so scary that you've got to be in the game. You've got to get yourself in the game early to appreciate it. No, I didn't do that in my first ever game. So in '91, I got suspended at Penrith for 4 weeks, and I was coming back from a suspension, and I had 3 really good games on the rebound of suspension, and I made the first Origin team. And we played up in Queensland at Lang Park, and we got beat 6-4. A really dour struggle, both teams, So I didn't know whether I'd make the second team. So I got replaced in that first game and then got put back on with about 10 minutes to go. So I didn't know if I'd done enough to make the second team. When the team got announced, I was in the team. So we went into camp down at Coogee, and as we were going back to our rooms, I heard a couple of selectors who were hanging around. One of them called out MG, and I looked around. I said, "Yes, hey mate." He goes, "You got a minute?" And I said, "Yeah, of course." So I went over and sat in like little, like them Happy Days Fonzie's little benches, across from each other
in the booth
at Arnold's or Alf's. And I sat there and said, "Hey boys," and they said, "Mate, what's going on?" I said, "What do you mean?" They said, "That first game, you'll pick because you're aggressive." And I said, "Yeah, well, I'm coming off like the suspension things. I don't want to be suspended again because it started to cost me money at Penrith." And one of them said, "Well, mate, when's the last time you saw anyone get suspended or sent off or sin bin in State of Origin?" I said, "I had to do a quick think." And I said, "Never has there been." They said, "That's right." I said, "What do you mean?" They said, "We want you to go into this second game with a bit more authority, and we want you to do things that you mightn't have thought you'd get away with on a footy field, but you will get away with it in Origin because anything goes." I said, "What do you mean?" So you're basically saying I can do whatever I want against these Queenslanders and nothing's going to happen? They said, "Well, we won't say it in public, but we're saying it to you." Yeah. So what? Well, so these guys have basically given me a green light to go out, run amok. So I went out. Day of the game
and run amok.
Day of the game was pouring rain, Howie, and I used to hate playing in rain because you mentioned it. We had the cotton long sleeve jerseys. We had heavy leather ball. We had big thick boots. That these days they're playing like slippers. They're so light.
Yeah.
And your socks would get heavy always, and I'd hate that. I hate that feeling. My socks getting pulled down and heavy. But this day I didn't give a damn. Because I knew that I'd been given a green light by the New South Wales hierarchy, so I'm going to go out there and do what I can to win this game. And if it means playing outside the rules, well, so be it. So, first half, I'm doing that. I'm hitting blokes late with the shoulder charge and just letting them know that I'm around, and then coming in late a little bit and doing this and doing that. And right on half time, the siren in the background went, and their hooker, Stevie Walter's got the ball. And instead of like running the ball up to us or kicking the ball out, he just ran up to me and done a voluntary tackle just to kill time right in front of my legs. I said, "Fuck that." done a rabbit chop to the back of his head.
It was a genuine bunny chop. That's how I would have described it.
As you do.
Yes.
When you've been given a green light, and then it was on. Then it was on for young and old. Then for about 5 minutes there was a fracas and there was punches thrown and punches getting thrown back. But a lot of people don't realise that in a fight on a rugby league field, there's not much damage gets done because by the time you've thrown something, there's another bloke grabbing your jersey, there's another bloke grabbing his jersey. It's more about the wrestle on the ground. And that was happening a lot. And then when it all dissipated and everyone was getting back to their feet and just, clearing the cobwebs out of saying that was a pretty intense type of, half-time break. It wasn't even a half-time break yet, but I heard this voice calling me every name under the sun, like, Guy, you effing dog, and Guy, you effing this and effing that. And when I looked to the right of me, I saw Wally Lewis. And my first thought, and this is on my grave, I thought, how does he fucking know my name? He knows who I am. Wally Lewis knows my name.
At least he wasn't calling you Nick.
Exactly. This is the best player in the game. He's saying Geyer. It was surreal. But then it got a little bit, is coming towards me, and I thought, okay, well now the hero worship's gone. Now I want to punch this fucker in the face as well because he's getting in my grill. And he was right under me. He's looking up at me going, you point me in the chest, and I looked down at him and said, you should get back to your nursing home, which was a shit thing to say. And then the referee, David Manson, says to Benny Elias, who was our captain, he said, you settle him down because all half he's been close. He's been so close to the win. He goes, yes, Dave, no worries. And Benny turns to me and says, MG, hit the fucker. Hit him. Punch shit out of him right now. I'm going, what? I didn't know whether I was Arthur or Martha, honestly. So that all dissipated. And we won the game, 14-12.
Yeah.
This is where I get disappointed about this game because a lot of people talk about what me and Wally did, but a lot of people don't talk about the greatest grand final, greatest state of origin goal kick of all time.
Ah, incredible.
From Michael O'Connor. It was on his bad side with a heavy leather ball, and the rain was torrential, and he went straight between the posts. We won 14-12. So I'm sitting with my dad in the dressing room after the game, and having a beer, and all of a sudden between these two double doors, I reckon there's been up to 40 members of the media with cameras all come towards me. And I said to Dad, I think I got me out of the match. He looked at me and goes, I don't think so, and walked off. He goes,
good advice, Dad. Dad's read the room a bit better than you.
Dad watched the game. He knew that, no. So all this, the reporters come straight to me and said, Mark, how does it feel to be cited on 6 different occasions from that game? I said, what?
Wow.
So anyway, there was they said that the coach next door, Graham Lowe, wants you in jail. He said that what you've done out there tonight was inhuman. I went, oh my goodness. So this was on the Wednesday. On the Thursday, they did a hurriedly convened judiciary hearing.
Yeah.
And I went there, and they said, mate, what the hell? What was wrong? I said, well, I was told to do it. They said, who told you? I said, well, fuck, come on, man, I can't. Like, really? I'm from Mount Druitt. Like, I'm not going to dob. It's not in my nature to say that it was, such and such. And one of them was a really famous rugby league player. I don't want to say his name, like here in this forum, but this guy was an immortal. There we go. There's an immortal who told me to run amok. And when someone that good in the status of our game tells you to do it, you do it.
Yes.
So I did it. And I got 6 weeks suspension.
6 weeks?
And I never played Origin again.
Wow.
That was it. That was my last. That's my last foray into Origin. So yeah, and Queenslanders were sympathetic to it. They said, because I went up there for a couple of weeks after I was suspended to the third game as a guest of the Queensland Rugby League because I was suspended out. So I went up to there and watched it and went to a function that day, and they said, honestly, if we told one of our players to do it, we'd back him up. Yeah. And I said, well, I'm disappointed because I wanted to play this third game. It's Wally Lewis's farewell, and they ended up winning the series, and I had no say in it. So, yeah, it was disappointing, but that's what do they say? Que sera.
Yeah. It's I watched it. I thought I watched that field goal about 6 times myself. But
a lot of people, how we think I've played like 30 Origin games because of that one moment. I played 3.
Oh,
I played 3 State of Origin games.
That's all right. Just live on the reputation. Hey, mate,
No, I said that's about quality, not quantity.
yeah, correct.